Hello, everyone. Welcome to Light Language Messenger. And for those of you watching on the Great Awakening Generator, you are very welcome here as well. Thank you for joining me today. I just want to say to everybody that's new to the channel, thank you for subscribing. You're very welcome here. And I hope you will enjoy what it is that we put out on the channel on a weekly basis. So, right, big breath for me at the moment. How are you and how's everything going in your world? Um, Yeah, you can always tell me in the comments. And I'm really happy to write back. I know I have been a little bit negligent in the last few days. It's just been a different world altogether the last few days, but it hasn't been anything negative. It's just been there's lots and lots of things coming up to be done. And so, there you go. You know, didn't come online as much. Now, I'm just writing a note for myself because today's light language message is going to be a little bit different from what we usually put on here. All right. This morning I woke up and I did my morning process, and I haven't done my morning process for maybe a couple of weeks now. For whatever reason, I get up in the morning, a phone call comes through or whatever, and everything else has been urgently needed, and so I go on and I do this stuff. But I'm always conscious of my guides. I'm always conscious that I'm tuning in. I seem to tune in whilst I'm sleeping. I'm always aware of them. I'm always mentally speaking with them or tuning in, right? And so I've been okay. I've been okay. But, I kept hearing through various things, it was important to implement a process. And I kept thinking as well, maybe I just need to start doing something where I implement, well, not a process, but something I can say, well, this is my mindful practice for the morning. Because my mindful practice usually is to pray to the sun. Some mornings I'll pray to the sun and then I'll come inside and then I'll sit down and do, breathing and just tuning in. Other mornings I just sit inside and do that. And, we do it at a specific time. The dog and we do it at a specific time and it works. But I found that the last 2 weeks were, time was just a little bit accelerated and things started to happen sooner in the day than later. And so I felt that my practice was not not every day like I'm used to doing it in the morning, but I would be doing it sometimes at night before I went to bed, which in the past was fine too. I did that. It worked better for me to do it in the bed, before bed. So I was thinking about that, and this morning I did my mindfulness practice, well, deliberately did my mindfulness practice, um, and I just felt I was led to pull some cards from Izzy Ivy's deck, the Beyond Lemuria. And I got that, but I felt that they were very personal to me. They were meant for me to get. And then I was thinking through the day, oh, maybe it's meant for the collective, for all of us here on Light Language Messenger and the Great Awakening Generator. And then for whatever reason, this afternoon, I feel an urgency in the air. I feel the energy has changed, and I've just come to sit down and talk with you about a few things that I've had on my mind for the last week, thinking I need to tell everybody about this and share my thoughts on it. And so we will be referring to teachers and intuitive teachers and all of that, but just not as in we're going into the cards and we're going to look for the cards and look for direction from the cards, because I believe that sometimes we can do it without the cards, right? Sometimes we don't need to do it with the cards. We can just do it with just us and just intuition and our guides and all of that. So where do we start today? Firstly, I'll start with this one. Currently, we're experiencing some intense weather in Auckland. And it sort of was a build up. Yesterday was a little bit on and off. The rain was there, and then I thought it was forecasted that it would be really intense later on in the day. Nothing happened as intense as that, maybe somewhere else, but not where I live. But this afternoon, it's really been intense. And I've been sending I've been sending love and light out, positive energy, high vibrational energy to the collective around me, because people are coming home from work. Auckland is known for traffic issues, and when it rains, it's even worse than normal. So The congestion is worse. People, whatever happens in the traffic, and I'm not even going to talk about those negative things, but you can imagine that it can be, quite intense. And so we just want to send love and light to everybody out in traffic at the moment. And if that is the case for you, wherever you are in the world, iron tai kontrama kafrana arutu kuruma fola katsede. If flicker for ona tipe ko mesa. Wokrama nutufana ketolo my hill. La chima jolo majimo de monogramas katufrana hai. Sikoronata, because Roma Kituforona Kitiko Morotola had just for him. We're just bringing in balance, and we're bringing in calm in the storm. It's a corona kito roma to romai to romai kuto romai kuto romai kuto romai kuto romai kuto romai chimene. Juju mai kuto to semai judu vandikara school correcema hofranai. Tikoroma kotona kerestete. I'm sorry, I kind of just went into it. I didn't plan to do that, but it's just come out. So I have been cleansing all day. I've been cleaning the house and cleansing with salts, water, and my energetic space. You can see one candle is still going there. It's a Palo Santo candle. I've had Palo Santo candles going all day in this room because I've cleaned it out and so I've been in my energy space, and right. Today, what are we talking about? I want to say kudos to the stone painter in my area. Coming back to this, where I live, I discovered that somebody has been painting stones or rocks, and they've been putting little messages like kind on it, or you matter, with hearts all around them. And they've been putting things like know you are loved, and just these positive, amazing messages on little rocks that are painted with pretty colors, flowers and hearts, all these beautiful things. And they've just been putting it all around where I live, the little village that I live nearby. They've just been putting it in the gardens. So it's been like that, and it's been wonderful. And I feel like, that is such a simple thing to do. And it's weird because I've been painting stones for CJ's little resting place. CJ, my cat that passed away, or that we had to send to furry heaven in January. And I've been preparing it because I've planted, I put some plants there. I've put some rocks all around the spot where CJ sleeps. And CJ, the story of CJ is basically CJ was, when we put CJ to rest, we put in crystals at certain points of his body. And I've said this before on the channel, but what I've realized is that we actually created a crystal grid with him. And over the weeks, I'm going to be writing about this, but over the weeks, I've come to realize that CJ has actually been the guardian of this land. Probably the whole street, and in particular, the land that I live on. And because, the story of him is he kept coming back here when the family moved away from the house next door. They lived there and they moved away, and he came back like 5 times. And it was almost like he was like, I'm meant to be here, and so I'm just going to keep coming back here. And so that's what he did. And so I had this idea that the stones looked really boring and they looked really like messy, and I wanted to spruce it up a little bit. And so I started painting stones myself for CJ's little resting place. And I've done some of it, and then I've asked my daughter if she'll do some of it, and I've asked another friend if he'll do a couple, because they had something to do with him, a lot to do with him. And I think it's only apt that they paint some stones for him, or some rocks. And so yes, kudos to the person who's painting stones or painting rocks, whichever you call them, and putting up these beautiful messages all around the village, because It's wonderful to see, and I feel there we go. There's another way that you can um, bring positive light and energy to a place. It's in the rocks. It's in the rocks. It's written on the rocks, and whilst it's in paint, it's still paint that lasts. It's still giving somebody a message. It's to lift the vibration. Right, CJ and Stone Painter, we talked about them. So I want to say this, friends, in the last week, I've had a few people talk to me about somebody seeing spirits, spirits that approaching them. Like one person had the spirit, saw the spirit in the corner of its eye, saw the shadow in the corner of his eye, and then heard some weird sounds in the house, and also heard it say goodbye. Heard somebody say goodbye, right? Now, another person was actually awakened by the figure of a man, right? And that can be very scary for someone who doesn't is not in tune with that side of life. And so I'm hearing other people talk about this as well, that somebody they know or they saw a spirit. And last week, and one of my last week or the week before, I said I'd seen a Maori chief on the front lawn, and I thought, wow, that's kind of interesting. What is that all about? Now, whether that, for me, I saw the Maori chief and I was really okay with it. I was like, that's awesome. I'm glad that the ancestors are visiting. Right, and the fact that there was so much happening with CJ, with clearing my house, clearing the land that the house is on, and then we buried CJ and we put him into the ground with all these crystals, and he's got the crystal grid for the land because we cleared the land, was okay for me. And look, at the end of the day, if that's what you need to do in your space, and then by all means do that. But when somebody isn't in tune and doesn't understand things like we do in terms of intuition, if they're not light workers, if they're not aware of this, they're going to get really freaked out about it. So I thought, that was an interesting thing, because I got two people talk to me about this, like one after the other. And it was like within a day of each other. And so I was listening to something that Diana Cooper had put out, and it was a video she put out which talked about what happens to the soul when it dies. And one of the things she talked about was stuck souls on the planet. And I'll put the link in the description box, because I think, well, if you're interested in that, it might be worth it for you to watch it. It's just a 5-minute clip. And then she talks about there are many stuck souls on the planet at the moment. And so, because of all the downloads we're getting, the codes that are being downloaded to us, we're able to see quicker. We are able to sense quicker. But you see, we're not the only ones who can do that. If someone is highly intuitive, but not from the esoteric point of view, like, they're just intuitive. Because you can be highly intuitive and not be a light worker, right? There's those people as well, and they will see and feel things. And what do we say to people like this? Firstly, what do you think about something like that? I mean, when something like that happens, what do you think about it? Because when someone said this to me, one of the people said this to me, I thought, I don't know how to help this person. Not because I don't know how to help this person, but because of where they're at. So I said to the person who was one of the people that was relaying the experience to me, well, and this person who was relaying the experience to me is highly intuitive, does all the cleansing and the clearing and clears the space and does it like every 2 weeks and all of that, right? But it happened in a place where it's not low vibrational as such, okay, because there's cleansing and clearing and the guides are there and the archangels help and all of that. There's crystals all over the place. There's incense that is being lit, salt at the door, the corners of the house and all of that. So I said to this person, I think the thing that might need to change is perhaps there is a vibration that needs to change in the house, because both people that live in this house have experienced the death of a family member, and they've been in a very sad state. And so obviously if you're feeling sad because someone's passed away, you are, but something needs to happen to change the vibration. Like you can play music, 432 hertz or whatever. You think, or you could play music, just put music on, pop music, and dance and bring the vibe back. Start to laugh. I mean, every time I dance, I laugh. So I start to do that. So there's that. And then the person asked me if I would do some light language with them in the following morning when they were doing some clearing, and I said, well, of course I'll do the light language with you. And so I did. And so even from the light language, out of doing the light language, it came out, raise the vibration, because there's too much sadness in the space. Okay, so there you go. I don't say that it'll always sort itself out. Every individual situation, every individual might be experiencing that for different reasons. The other person I know that experienced that is highly intuitive. Highly intuitive. I've got a lot of learning from this person in terms of intuition, and is in some ways kind of in denial about their intuition because they are following religion and want to do it the religious way. And so what I think is that, this is what I think. I'm not necessarily absolutely correct on this, but what I do think is that stuck souls will approach anyone they feel that looks like they could help them to where they need to go to. And in that situation, I thought, well, hey, if somebody, as the shadow is coming up to you and tapping your hand to wake you up when you're sleeping, they really want your attention. So maybe that person needs to go, cross over, and they think you have the answer to it. So it's scary, right? It's scary if you are unfamiliar, if even as a light worker, if you are not experiencing that can be a little bit scary. So today, what I think we would do is, in terms of these experiences, because Diana Cooper spoke about that, that they are stuck souls. Lee Harris also, in one of his little podcasts that he put out last week, a short one, spoke about it too, and I will put that in the link. I want to bring that in because I would like you to hear this and maybe have a perspective. I would like to share that perspective with you so that you can think, oh, maybe if you're going through that, perhaps it's an option. Remember, when we're sharing things, we're not saying this is I've really been called up on this, that when you say something as if you really truly believe that, are you trying to convince others, or what are you trying to do? And I'm very impassioned about the things I believe in. So I'm really having to reflect on myself and how it is that I put these things out to you. So when I'm sharing something, I'm sharing it because it's a point of reference for the things I'm talking about, but I'm also sharing it because perhaps you might listen to it and get something out of it. You might see what I mean, or you might say, no, I don't agree with that, but that's okay. And that's okay too, right? But I am doing my part here, and I guess maybe I'm using those tools that are available to me, those things that I'm listening to and learning from to you. So I'm getting myself in a little bit of a muffled state, but please understand that at the end of the day, the report you believe is the report within you, and that report comes from your higher self. It comes from your higher self, not anyone else. And if it resonates with you, then that's great. And if it doesn't, then that's great too. So, I need to say that. So before we do some light language, we're going to do some light language today for stuck souls to be able to transition. And we're going to do light language for those people that are experiencing souls tapping into their space, where they are receiving codes and they're awakening, and then they get this experience that freaks them out. We want to invoke protection, wisdom, understanding, and peace and calm for people going through that, because I think that, this is part of the phase of this awakening process we're in, okay? And that's what our light language is going to be charging. Okay, ramakitolo na chila kucha maikito maikito na tafara na hekuro shtekera maikito frana etapo. Irabakuto koromahito frana sikorota tetalasto to frana ichkormaito to frana ekoromai stete fona ho. Horarararo, kilalalalo, lava chulo lava chuvala chuloma slow to forona hay. Ekroma smokeron temeke teparana ke chola tafanake. I had an epiphany today, friends. I want to share this with you quickly before we get to the light language. All this time that I have been in a situation where work has been scarce, I suddenly had an epiphany today. I was trying to do this twice or thrice now in the last 5 years, where I was going to start my own business, buy an existing bookkeeping business. And then I kind of forgot about the whole idea. And today is something I had an epiphany that perhaps that's what I should do. I don't know if that's just the flavor of the day. Okay. There were a few triggers yesterday, and then I did some research and I thought, oh, why aren't you doing that? I mean, I tried to do this previously, and something or the other happened that kind of stopped the process because we were in a lockdown and so many things. And today it suddenly occurred to me, wow, perhaps that's what I should be doing. And who knows, maybe that is what I'm going to be doing. So I'm looking forward to you sending me lots of love and light for wisdom and understanding about this. Thank you. I'm asking. Thank you. Doing the work for higher purpose, doing the work of the soul, does not mean poverty. I'm really realizing that, coming to that. I also think I listened to something yesterday that really sort of wrapped me on the knuckles. I always say, I've had it out with my guides. What the heck? I hear these things. Why don't they show up? Where is my stuff? And one of the things that came out in this thing I was listening to was, why do you expect your guides to guide your life in terms of what you're supposed to be doing for your abundance? Why do you expect them to help you? Are you not the creator of your reality? Yeah, it's not about guides. It's about it's about knowing what you want and just going out and doing it. And guides will always be there to help you. They are there, but they're not actually there to do all those things we're expecting them to do. So my friends, I am really sorry. I know I say these things in the videos, but I was really wrapped on my knuckles about this because I thought, oh wow, it's true. Why am I giving the responsibility of my life and how it should go to the guides just because I am into light work? How do I want to navigate life? So hopefully next few videos we will do some invoking of that to build on that strength. And you know, after I went through that process, I got this thing about the bookkeeping business and I thought, wow, yeah, that's like me. And this thing of not liking or feeling demotivated when doing bookkeeping, it's nothing to do with bookkeeping itself. It's got to do with perhaps the client I have, and that my client is great and all of that, but perhaps it's got to do with the work that I'm doing. Maybe I'm finding that work boring, or maybe, I don't know, it's not giving me everything I want. All right, and what I want to see is flow, and perhaps, yeah, I'm getting myself into it again. Okay, let's do it. So please have a sip of water if that's available to you. Karamato no mache. Right, hydration, very important. Have a sip of water. Have another one if you need it. I've got pure still water. I encourage you to have the same. Be cautious, be conscious of the water you're drinking and the alkalinity percentage, or the percentage of alkalinity it contains. 9.5 is awesome. Yeah, I've had it, and I got to tell you, it's the kind of water that makes you want to drink more and more because it's so natural, so much more natural. Okay. Hio karana tapa, feet firmly planted on the ground. Let's breathe. We're going to take 3 breaths into the nose, all the way to the bottom of the belly. Bring it up to the torso, pausing, looking into the third eye with your eyes closed. We'll be doing this, right? And then when you're ready, you release the breath out of the mouth and try to release it for longer than when you took it in. And we're going to do that 3 times. We will start breathing on the count of 3. And then you're just going to do your breath, your 1, 2, 3 breaths. You're going to do them at your leisure. All right, and then we'll pause when we come back. And remember, when you push the breath out of your mouth, to kind of pause too and see if you can keep that breath completely, if you can keep the next breath out of your body for as long as you can, because it really puts us into the meditative space. All right, let's do it. I'm going to put myself on off musician's mode for now. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3 first, and then we're going to breathe, okay? 1, 2, 3. Let's breathe. Iraba kotoro mai nahe. Urama kitana. Take your time as you come back from your breathing space. So friends, our first invocation, our first charging of the light language is for souls that are hanging about the earth plane and need to be finding the light. And what are we going to say, Corona here? So what are we going to ask for them to find the light? We're going to ask for the pathway to be cleared. We're going to invoke the help of the archangels, of Ira Kotsaramatsu Corona Ekataro, guides of these souls, guides of our guides, to communicate with the guides of these souls, to guide them Kuromaino to Farana Chiarokoto. So that they can find the light. One of the things is that sometimes people do not believe in the light, but do not believe in source, do not believe in God as we refer to source. And so they don't recognize the light. So they're hanging about. This is according to the little clip from Diana Cooper. Okay? Supakitata tohora katafrana kitsora matsitsu alepua. We're just going to do some toning, clearing the space. Hero kotano. Oh, beautiful soul. Oh, beautiful soul. I made it out on a bakino, Magikona, Karamadora, Hikaramaguche, Aleto. Ikaramagofla, Lerarero, Gelalana Juke, Ichofarare. Hiramai, Ravai, Tavarat, Samade, Saravat, Saraveke, Harekora, Yamaguchi, Amagora makutufa hoemno. Yes, korava samaze salada fenede dororo saba. Koromotse arotofa. Arotofana rarava hihore mahihum. Remember, friends, some of these souls were not ready to leave. They're kind of confused. Sikirama, sikirama, tukfarama, dikkafana, dikkurama, dikkirama, dikkirama. Karamadora, nanodori, karamadukufarana, iladirorone. Quite naraneto, kiramora, iraki. It's a lot of confusion. So masia, ale, 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 halemo, ale, ale. The souls that are holding on for family, that are in pain on the planet. And there are souls that are holding on because they feel responsible for the souls that are remaining and living a physical life. We're just giving them, sending them Simalakatona and I get lullaby. Oh, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. Hirono kotomona. Semekoro tomona. Ramakafa ikota. Kirororo unzea. Ikama forona. There's a lot of confusion. Some souls are confused. Kanami kotomarete. Ukofana tiela zela zemoe. Hinoma hinimi kitomana 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 ke. Nekafena kotofana maketomano kofena kichafona dekararone. To the souls that are lingering here on the earth plane, we want to say to you, we know that you are concerned about your family here on the planet. We know that some of you are confused. You're confused because it happened suddenly. Some of you are on the other side thinking, I could have done that differently. I didn't have to let fear get in the way because it's the fear that causes the death. Be not afraid to go to the light. See the light for those who cannot. The soul lingers because the human consciousness is what keeps it here. Morotane ketarama. If you feel like you're holding your loved one here, know that you and your loved one will never be parted. Know that your loved one finding the light is them being able to be closer to you and in their higher vibrational space. They're going to pure positive light, pure perfect energy, high vibrational space. They're going to completion. And then they will be able to complete that journey that they need to. A lot of the souls that have journeyed here with us on the physical plane are meant to stay and carry on journeying with us when they leave anyway. Nothing is lost. Friends, I'm going to appeal to your unconditional love. I'm going to appeal to you loving that person unconditionally, loving yourself unconditionally. Hila hila hula me zale zafo da te te akota la da na do. Archangel Uriel is a marakutene re makuta paina karota mai kita faranachi. O koronatema, Archangel Uriel is the nemokoromai grounding us, koromai teuno novate koromai as this process is happening. In Corona Metema Kotomare, Archangel Michael, Dinamako for ease and comfort, tomorrow Kotovaratito no no chili Rana Hekoromaita. Kalamayu. Hikalamahua ira ira corona ira Archangel Raphael healing and Amalakotama healing. Abundance of healing, the physical body, the heart, the chamoro ranale kerana tuturo mare corona letato iraro kutorana ikoramato coronati karanati korote tarana kichuro no kotoro raiamo. So we're healing the heart, kunamai kitana cheperero. We're healing the heart. We're healing the wounds. We're healing the pain. We're healing the hearts of those on the planet that are grieving the loved ones that have left. We are healing the hearts of those that have left. They're closer to the earth plane because they're identifying a lot more with their physical self. Hila irororo salareora no hikamora makifara nakitsofa keramadota niamo Aleshifo kamekotora de arekumai arekuma fekeromotodone. There is a herd of unicorns. They come. And they are the unicorn horns are shimmering light the light from the unicorn horns is clearing all the blocks, the confusion, the heartache, this uncertainty. Can you see the light of the unicorn horns, all of the diamond light all around us? On the planet. Kramado kraneke cheme goraraze ziakofanike you guronakato moru katamai kochafaina kochahai kirama kotina kirama kim selemente temola tetafana hale kesho vale amora Kerado maziraneno honor and love and light to you, my beautiful souls. Himali makota fona dikarama inarora e hero korafena kero motona e. Can you see them going? Honor to you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for wanting to stay. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your love. For not wanting to leave. Thank you for your unconditional love. Thank you, souls, for your commitment to your earthly ones. Hi baba ba hukurama ziku fene tekero ko takerama. Kora de anarea. Kora ma kikiela tuo. Hirano chieden zafarana chie. Kore mane dorande ararararararo. Che la safane che amo te che mette che ha. Kora magie. Na 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 na. Hero moro what's kana what's koro. Karaba de mayne moha. If it's available to you, friends, hold a crystal in your hand now. I know that this is not easy. This is traumatic for you if you are grieving a loved one. So I want you to hold a crystal, the nearest one you can find. Crystals are always good. Kanameka chamara. I'm holding my lapis lazuli. I've got my selenite, but okay, but I feel like I needed a little one. This lapis lazuli is to do with your throat chakra, your voice box. It's to clear for you. From my end, you're holding yours. Use your crystal. I'm using my lapis lazuli to clear my throat chakra, to balance my throat chakra. But also, for whatever else, it's good for the voices up there that need to be heard, for the soul that might need to use the voice to elevate into the light, for whatever your crystal is. You're holding this for the souls. It's holding it for yourself, but you're holding it for the souls too, right? I feel led that we do that. Right, now, feet firmly planted on the ground. Breathing again. Closing your eyes and then breathing like we were breathing earlier. We're going to do three breaths like that, okay? We're going to come back to earth now. Wish them well. See them going. Hirakotse. In particular, I see the unicorn with a pink flaming mane, pink tail. Right, let's breathe, because I'm forgetting that we have to breathe and we're just going on with something else. 1, 2, 3. Let's breathe. Let's charge this crystal. This is a special crystal. So we've charged the crystal with your light language, or my light language, and if you were doing your light language, a lot of love to you, friends. This light language message cannot have been as easy. And I know that all around us, this is happening. This is part of the awakening process. This is part of the process we are going through in terms of, we have soul contracts, and we, because we have chosen amnesia, we don't see the whole picture. So, how in the world are we going to be joyous with that? I feel this heat under my on the side of me here, on my left side. Hirakota Faranahai. Take some time to ground yourself. Go walk in your garden. Walk in nature. Walk by the sea, on the sea sand. Trust that it'll all be good. Everything will work out. Karamakitono. Everything will be fine. Alekishofanana here. I'm sorry for whatever it is that is in your world that is painful. But rokomayena karana soforana kichalabakito. Teskerandato. Okay, keramakotora. One more time, we are just going to close out. Kirabakoto onakatatana kito porana kichaparana katokoroma tetorona hitokorona. We welcome the protection of Archangel Michael and his legion of angels in a time with ease and comfort and flow. Eramakoto mai koranachia pakoto mai kitoro vaskatono vai kotono mai ichunama. Orona kita mai kutuna erono de kerama o eka ina to aka ina ekaborona kichabato do tate karamato oranana hitoko. Iramakoto borodo mai kitamarana. We welcome the protection. We welcome the ease and flow of that protection with comfort and ease. Thank you, friends. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Be easy with yourself. I'll catch you next time here on Light Language Messenger and the Great Awakening Generator. So much love and light to all of you. Askoromahe. Namaste.